Hey everyone. So I just thought I'd jump on and explain a little bit about my story, how I got to be where I am as a pilot and also as a DJ as well. So I'm currently in Dubai. I finished my flying shift here. I've got my simulator here tonight and again tomorrow night. We have to come here every 6 months in order to keep our skills fresh and practice emergencies, etc. One thing I have managed to do whilst I was here is first of all record a mix in Abu Dhabi by the marina. And then I've recorded two mixes here in Dubai from the balcony of the Intercontinental. And then finally, I managed to tick off a bucket list item, which was to hire a yacht in Dubai Marina and then do a DJ set on the yacht with a couple of colleagues and also my mum. I managed to tick off a second bucket list item, which was to fly my mum out to somewhere, which happened to be Dubai in this case. I booked her an economy ticket, but when she got to the check-in, she realized that her son had booked her onto a business class flight. So she was a bit freaked out because she wasn't dressed for the occasion. Also, she thought. So yeah, she arrived here a couple of days ago. We've just been exploring Dubai. And then I said, "Mum, do you fancy joining me on a yacht to record a DJ set?" And that's what happened. I wasn't quite fully prepared for it. It was quite windy, so the set isn't exactly how I planned, but there is some nice clips to come from that video. So let's see how it turns out. So how it all started, I was 4 or 5. I was at primary school. I was just learning how to write, and I'd always dreamed about being a pilot. My auntie was a flight attendant. She'd taken me on a few of her flights abroad to various locations around Europe. She used to work for an airline called British Midland, and she's back in the days where you were allowed to visit the cockpit. My auntie said, "Do you want to come and visit the pilots?" And I was like, "Of course." So I went to visit the pilots in the cockpit, and all the buttons, the dials, the screens, the beautiful view from the cockpit. I was instantly hooked. I was just a small boy at that time. And then when it got to starting school and learning how to write, one of the first things I wrote in my book at school was, "I want to be a pilot. I want to wear a uniform, etc." And my mum kept that book all that time, and I've got a picture of it somewhere, just to remind me that the journey that I've came from, and that if you believe in something for long enough, you can make it happen. But like most people who have a childhood dream, it kind of gets forgotten about you. The school gets in the way. You think about other things. And when I was 11, I started to wear glasses, and I thought, oh, pilots, they need to have perfect vision, so I can't be a pilot anymore. And I kind of forgot about being a pilot really, and I started to focus on other things, music being one of them. A lot of my friends were DJs, so I thought, okay, I'm going to get myself some decks. Started playing music. I was also quite into going to skate parks and stuff. Me and my friends used to tour the UK, going to various skate parks, which was a great time. Um, and then it wasn't until I got to 18 when I realized that actually, what am I going to do when I leave school? I didn't know what I was going to do, and I'd applied for some um, uh, apprenticeships, one of which being a apprenticeship to be an electrician, as that's just what all my friends were doing. And then I'd sent a few letters off, sent a few applications, and time to the time to be leaving sixth form, or as we call it in the UK, or college, was getting ever closer. And I thought, okay, why don't I decide to have a look through the UCAS website, which is the UK website for going to universities and which courses are available. And I found one particular course. It was called Air Transport with Commercial Pilot Training, and basically it allowed you to get a degree and a commercial pilot license within a 3 year period. So late that night, when my dad came home from work, I explained the course to him. He seemed more excited than me, even after I dropped the price tag to him, which was like £45,000. It was about 90,000 US dollars at that time, and he agreed that I could do the course. So I had to do aptitude tests. I had to go to a flight school to do aptitude tests. I had to do medical, which was like a Gatwick Airport in the UK, uh, special medical a special medical facility for checking pilots, for checking that pilots have the correct medical condition in order to get the pilot medical, which is called a Class 1 medical. That's for to be a commercial pilot. A few of those things were done, and then a few months later, I was off to university. I went to a university in Buckinghamshire, One thing I forgot to mention was when I was looking through these university courses and I saw the pilot course, I realized that you didn't actually have to have perfect vision in order to be a commercial pilot. So to be a commercial pilot, you are actually able to wear glasses up to a certain prescription. So I think I was -2 short-sightedness, and I was able to still get the class one medical with a restriction that I have to carry glasses, wear contact lenses, and also uh, carry a spare set of spectacles with my in my flight bag. Coincidentally, I did actually have the LASIK surgery back in 2010, so I no longer have to wear glasses. It's coming up on 15 years since I had that, and it was a great success, and it was definitely a life changing thing to do to be able to see perfectly, literally overnight. So that was a great investment, even though it was a very scary and traumatic experience. It was really worth it for me. Not making any recommendations for a medical procedure for anyone else, but just for information purposes. So when it got to looking around the university accommodation, my mum and my dad came down with me. My mum got a little bit upset. She said that she was upset because of the condition of the room and stuff, and there was a few stains on the carpet, and she was a bit apprehensive about me staying in this kind of place. But I think really she was just a bit upset about her son finally leaving and going off to university. Her firstborn son. It was just me and my brother in our family. So a few months into the course, quite a big tragedy happened. It affected me and my whole family, really, pretty much. My dad sadly passed away unexpectedly, age 46. It left me and my brother and my mum really devastated, but also like my extended family as well. He was a big character within the family, and he was also a big figure within the community as well. He owned a window business. He used to install windows into people's houses, doors, conservatories. He'd also help a lot of people. So it was a big loss. I think there was like 1,000 people at his funeral, and the people of our town, which is called Swaddling Cove and Gresley, we basically walked from the church to the graveyard with my dad in the car, and all the people were just walking behind, and it was a crazy sight to see it, like all the people following the car, thousands of people. The police shut the road off, so it was a very sad moment, but also it was like bittersweet that my dad was made such an impact on not only our lives but also the other people in the town as well. So yeah, I've always aspired to make such impact in the world around me ever since, and I hold my dad's memory close to me, and I believe that he's always watching over me, and he's helped me get to this stage where I am now. It was at this point as well where I thought that I was just going to quit flying. Like I was 3 months in, I just lost my dad, and I thought I'm just gonna leave this course or go back home. I'm going to help my mum and my brother try to continue the family business. But my whole family and my friends, they said, no, no, you must continue. That's what your dad would have wanted. So I went back to university. I knuckled down. I had a great set of friends at university. I had a great set of friends at home as well, who all supported me to get me through this tough time. They all said it's what he would have wanted. He would have wanted to continue, and after some time, I agreed, and I just went back and I got it done. So back to work in Buckinghamshire for the first year of university, and towards the end of that year, there was basically a big choice to make. There was 50 people on the course. We had a choice, three different locations that we could have gone to continue our flight training. One was uh, near Cambridge in the UK, a place called Cranfield. Second was Bournemouth. And then the third choice, which was the one for me, which was Florida. And I was like, I need to go there. My dad used to love going to Florida. He used to love taking me and my brother and my mom and the whole family every year, pretty much. So I thought I need to go to Florida. But of course, a lot of people wanted to go to Florida, and in the end, we had to do a ballot in order to decide who was able to take these places going out to Florida. And in the end, yeah, I got lucky. I felt like my dad was watching over me. I got my ticket, my pass, my ballot to go to Florida, and then a few weeks or months later, I was on the plane on the way to Florida. So imagine me, other my five fellow students. We hired a car, we rented a villa, and we basically lived in a six-bedroom villa with a pool, with a hot tub for 1 year in Florida. It was probably one of the most amazing experiences of my life. The first 6 months were extremely tough. We had to study 14 exams. They're called the ATPL theory exams. So you've got air law, you've got communications, you've got navigation, everything basically relating to the operation and the science behind air travel. So very difficult study, 14 subjects, 14 exams. Eventually I passed them after 6 months of hard study with my fellow students. And then it was time for the fun part. We got to fly basically everywhere we wanted around Florida, Georgia, South Carolina. Some people even took an airplane up to Virginia. But we basically had the freedom to fly wherever we wanted. We had to build our flight hours up to 200 hours before we could go home. So, yeah, that was a Florida experience. We got to go to Disney. We got to see space shuttle launches. We got to eat all the food that we saw on American TV shows growing up. Basically, living the dream that every teenager wants to do and go and live in America at the age of 18, 19. So after Florida was over, moved back to the UK, back to Buckinghamshire, a place called High Wycombe for the third year of university. DJing was very much still a part of my life in this age. I was playing at like student union parties. I was playing at house parties. I would go back home to the Midlands at the weekends. I would play house music in a town called Ashby de la Zouch. I would play funky house final sets at one of my friends' events. The place was called The Venue. Even though my preferred genre at this time was underground hard house music, when I played out, I played a little bit slower, a little bit more commercial, to try and play to the audience, so to speak. And this was the era where camera phones were not really a thing yet. We had digital cameras, and there was not like super amount of photos that would get taken on nights out, but you would get the occasional person with a digital camera. They take pictures at the event, and then when they put them on a website called don'tstayin.com, they had a yellow logo. And we used to go to events and find our pictures on don'tstayin.com after we came back from the events. The kind of events that me and my friends would go to: tidy events, tidy weekender, Storm and Passion at the Emporium, Global Gathering. We used to go to my friend's event called Ecstatic Festival, Sunday Essential. The list goes on. We used to have a great amount of events in the UK. Sadly, a lot of them have died out these days. But I think that the UK culture for music and underground music is probably one of the best in the world, and that's why I think so many great DJs and even promoters as well. Their roots were in the UK dance music scene. So next, what happened was we finished our degree. We finished the last year of university. More student union parties, more house parties, more small DJing gigs for me. Finished the course in 2009. Of course, what happened then affected the whole industry in aviation. In fact, every industry it affected: the global financial crisis, the credit crunch, whatever people called it. And also, this was the time the smoking ban came into force in the UK. So lots of venues were affected by this in terms of music and people going out, etc. So basically, I'd finished my pilot training. I'd invested £45,000 of my parents' money, and there were no jobs in the UK at all. The only people offering jobs were Ryanair. So you did the interview, which you had to pay for at the time. You had to pay £250 for the interview. Then, if you passed the interview, you had to pay another €30,000 in order to train on Ryanair's aircraft, which is the Boeing 737. I went for the interview. Unfortunately, I didn't pass. Unfortunately or fortunately, whichever you want to say. I basically went to my brother's 21st birthday in Las Vegas the day before the interview. I got back a bit tired, a bit jet lagged, and I was not able to perform great in the interview. It turned out to be the best thing that ever happened to me. I subsequently got a job at the airport, East Midlands Airport in the UK, working for a company called Menzies Aviation. I applied to be a baggage handler. She's like, "We think you would be more suited to work on check-in." I was like, "Okay." So I went to work on check-in for a while. I later got to work on dispatch at East Midlands Airport. And then after some time, one of my friends said, "Oh, I've got a job flying a bush plane, like a Cessna Caravan in Indonesia. Why don't you apply?" Now, this was the time that I'd done my laser eye surgery, so I was not able to apply immediately because once you do the laser eye surgery, you don't have a medical for about 3 months. But once I'd got all the paperwork from the authorities, that I got my medical back, I applied to a company called Suzia in Indonesia. And I thought, okay, I'm going to go to Indonesia. I'm going to work there for 1 year and get some flying hours. And then I'm going to come home and I'm going to work for a UK airline. After 1 year working in Indonesia, flying these really small planes with a propeller around the jungle and islands and mountains. And it was just an amazing experience after 1 year. And I was like, I'm not ready to leave yet. So I'm going to stay. And I stayed another year and another and another until I stayed for 5 years. And I flew the Cessna Caravan and I flew the Pilatus Porter around the jungles and mountains of Indonesia. And it's probably one of the most amazing flying experiences you can ever have in your life. And it was certainly one of the best experiences of my life. I met some amazing people. I traveled to some amazing places, and the personal growth that I got out of moving to such a country at age 23, it was really amazing for me, for my flying career anyway. Unfortunately, at 23, when I left the UK, I had to leave my DJ gear behind. I had to leave my DJ gigs behind, and I kind of had to leave music behind. And I basically gave up DJing to follow my flying passion and my flying career. Um, there is a lot of similarities between flying and DJing. Like, DJs travel around the world to different locations, taking people on journeys, like musical journeys. We take people on physical journey instead, but there's definitely a lot of overlaps. And it's been really great for me recently to allow my passion of flying and my passion of music and DJing to actually come together. And for me to record these DJ sets in different countries around the world. I can basically do my own little gig. I can find a cliffside with a sunset or a landmark. I can go to a sunrise and film myself a gig on a beach for a sunrise. So it's allowed me to be very flexible to buy this thing, the DDJ 200. I got it from a secondhand shop in Osaka. The first mix I recorded with just my laptop, and I was like, I can't record a mix with a laptop anymore. So I went shopping. I found this in the secondhand shop in Osaka. I bought it, and I was like, this is very portable. I'm going to actually take this with me on every shift, every flying shift that I do. So this is how Jets and DJSets Radio was born. I basically look for new music. I find a great location, record a mix, sometimes invite my colleagues along, hire a boat, or go to a sunset or a sunrise or anything, just to combine the love of traveling and exploring with my love of music. And so far it's been an unexpected but an amazing combination, and it's so far working really well. And that's why I want to share with you the Jets and DJ Sets Radio and my life in travel and DJing and flying, and also my love of food as well. I love eating different foods from different locations, trying different cuisines, socializing with people from different countries. You learn a lot about yourself and about the world as well. So yeah, that's me. That's where I'm at. Check out my page, Adam Alice Official on Instagram, Adam Alice Official on TikTok, and YouTube channel is called Jets and DJ Sets, which is kind of like a radio show. When I was in my 20s, we used to listen to a dance radio on Saturday night. It's called Teenage Dance Party. It was on a radio station called Centre FM, based out of Tamworth in the UK, and they used to play underground hard house music. And we used to write down the name of the records, and the following week we used to go to the record shop in Burton-on-Trent called Icon Records, and we used to buy the 12-inch vinyls. And if we could find the same tunes that were on Centre FM the week before, we would be so happy, and we'd buy like 5 or 6 vinyl each. At the time, it was like £6 or £7 for a vinyl. I'm not sure how much it is these days. Unfortunately, I can't carry vinyls around with me anymore. I have to stick to digital and MP3s. But yeah, it was a great time collecting vinyl. I've still got all my vinyl at my mum's house. I still like to play vinyl when I get the chance, but it's not really practical to carry around. So I'm stuck with controllers and CDJs and USBs. But yeah, it's great. I love music and I love flying. I love traveling. I love meeting people. So if you see me around in a pilot uniform or in a DJ box or sitting in a restaurant eating a table full of food with my colleagues, come and say hello. That's me, Adam Alice. Take care.